with both companies' battle for viewership as close as ever before, including another draw last week with both drawing at 4.5. WCW started Nitro on October 12 with a different approach, almost completely focused on the head-to-head 2 hours from 9 to 11, with the unopposed first half-hour mostly featuring recaps and video packages including footage from WCW's launch of the new credit card line in Wall Street, and Eric Bischoff opening the show to set up a show-long angle with him instructing security not to let Ric Flair in the building when he arrives. Almost 40 minutes into the show, WCW picked up the pace, having 3 big star power angles back-to-back, first with Sting coming out to challenge Bret Hart and Hogan for tonight, with Warrior interrupting moments later in a rare Sting-Warrior interaction on TV, with Warrior saying that he followed Sting's career and WCW is Sting's territory, offering to be Sting's partner for tonight in a Blade Runners reunion after 12 years. Hogan was next for the response promo, saying that him and Bret are gonna beat the 2 cartoon characters all over Chicago, while also hyping the second announced main event with Goldberg vs. Giant for the title. Three minutes from the top of the hour, Eric Bischoff was notified that the Horseman limousine arrived in the parking lot, running outside to make sure security don't let them in. Flair was out of the limo saying that he has a surprise for Eric, as Bruce MacArthur, whose family owned the United Center, came out to welcome him. Eric said that tonight it's his building as he leased it, with MacArthur saying that he has a separate skybox so Flair and the Horsemen can come in, setting Eric off with the loaded final quarter of the first hour, climbing big to a 5.9 rating, as the crossover segment featured a Hogan vs. Warrior hype video package and an Alex Wright vs. Fit Finlay match. After a week out in the hospital, Vince McMahon returned to open Raw, driving himself to the Nassau Coliseum in one of his Corvettes, instructing the building to keep the garage door open so Austin can have access to the building when he gets there later tonight, with Raw's opening quarter featuring the Outlaws with Billy Gunn backing the team against LOD for the tag belts, as both shows opened with a 4.3 rating. WCW followed with a 6-man lucha tag match going 6 minutes, interrupted by Eddie Guerrero telling them that as always Bischoff is making them fight each other as he has no respect for their tradition, saying that Eric is taking advantage of their economical situation at home and pays them nothing, challenging any NWO guy to do the things that the Mexicans just did in the ring, while recruiting them to the LWO. Going against it, Raw had the start of a show-long IC title tournament after Vince stripped Triple H of the belt due to him unable to defend it after knee injury, as Raw took the lead in the second quarter with Shamrock vs. Blackman, Venis vs. Mark Mero, and the arrivals of Kane and Taker. Scott Steiner was out next, cutting a promo on Buff and Judy Bagwell, saying that he convinced Bagwell to keep his mother in the kitchen and out of NWO business, bringing both out to the ring for the follow-up segment after popping a big rating last week. Buff said that they still got problems with Steiner, responding that the only problem might be if he breaks his neck again. Bagwell said that he agrees with his mother on Scott being responsible for his behavior since coming back from injury, leading to Steiner saying that he got soft with Bagwell challenging him to a fight, ending with Steiner threatening Judy and laying out Buff, as the Steiner-Bagwell team continued their strong run on TV in the last month, jumping over 600,000 viewers to a first-hour high 4.6 rating. Raw had a surprise arrival with Paul Bearer entering the building, making his TV return after over a month, with both companies' shows coming from big markets on the night, with WCW selling out the United Center in Chicago with over 17,000 while WWF sold out the Nassau Coliseum in New York with over 11,000. Besides the booming TV pay-per-view and house show business, the WWF's War Zone video game was also reported to be the highest-selling video game of any genre since coming out in July. WCW had Nash coming out for a promo to a big ovation, saying that before he was wrestling he worked as a bouncer, so he's used to beating up drunks, calling out Scott Hall, telling him that it's his last call. Hall walked out with a drink, taunting Nash, saying that he's only gonna fight him down there in the back, as Nash ran after him to the parking lot, with Hall driving off in a limousine and Nash chasing after him 2 weeks from the first Outsiders one-on-one match. Raw closed the first hour having 2 matches in the quarter, with the continuation of the IC title tournament, first with Mankind vs Mark Henry and then X-Pac vs Jeff Jarrett, while in the middle Steve Austin arrived to the building driving a cement truck, saying that something that will interest the McMahon family is gonna happen soon, with Raw entering into the 5 rating range, gaining over 600,000 viewers to a 5.2 rating. While Steve Austin was positioning the cement truck, WCW opened its third hour in a segment promoting the movie Chucky, with the company also hyping its first QVC merchandise special show on Tuesday, with Goldberg and Nash set to be on the show in a similar format to the big success of the WWF show on the Home Shopping Network. Austin positioned the truck near the Corvette before filling it with cement in another all-time Raw moment, with Austin and McMahon along with WWF Creative taking the program to the next level in the last 3 weeks, with arguably its top 3 segments all happening during this period, with the mindset of how do you top it again next week. Austin came out moments later thanking Vince for the invitation tonight, saying that there was a mistake in the address as the invite was sent to Austin 316 Construction Company. Austin said that after Vince screwed him out of the title, as long as both are in the company he's going to ruin his plans every week. Austin then went to the Judgment Day pay-per-view, saying that he's looking forward to be the special referee, and after Kane and Taker beat each other the only hand he will hold up is his own, bringing out Vince with a mystery man under a mask and 2 security dogs to keep Austin off, booking a big tag match for the main event with Austin and Rock against Kane and Taker, and guaranteeing that if Austin doesn't raise the hand of a new champion he will fire him on the spot on Sunday. The Austin McMahon segment going up against a movie promotion spot in a commercial-heavy quarter on TNT, saw Raw jumping over 1 million viewers to a peak 5.9 rating, Raw's highest-rated segment in over 2 months. Eric Bischoff was backing the ring, saying that the United Center for tonight is Bischoff Center, as at the moment he owns the place, calling out Dillinger and Dillon to do their job and kick Flair out of the building, going up to the skybox through the crowd to confront Flair and MacArthur. Eric told MacArthur that the United Center is his property tonight as he's leasing the building and doesn't care if his mother and father own it, ending with him pushing MacArthur and taken out of the building by security. The proven Flair-Bischoff combination delivered again, as after the previous segment saw Raw lead by over 2 rating points, the Bischoff-Flair segment gained over 1.1 million viewers to put WCW back neck and neck, with Raw doing a 4.6 rating. One of WCW's two hyped main event matches was next, with Bill Goldberg defending the title against Giant in a no DQ match. After drawing some of the biggest numbers in cable TV history as perhaps the hottest TV star in the industry over the previous 2 months, the last month since the Goldberg-Sting match on September 14 saw the company only using Goldberg in short sporadic appearances on Monday nights, with him working his first televised match on Monday since the Sting match almost a month ago. Goldberg came out to a massive reaction from the Chicago crowd, going 3 minutes with Giant until Stevie Ray and Page interfered to set up another Goldberg-Page stare-down in the build to the Havoc title match, with Goldberg vs. Giant giving WCW its first quarter-hour win of the night with a 4.4 rating to 4.3. Rock hyped the main event, saying that he doesn't want or need Austin as his partner, and he is more likely to slap his face than his hand, saying that he already beat both Taker and Kane, which is why he's the #1 contender for the title. With the semi-final and final of the IC title tournament taking place just before the main event, first with X-Pac advancing against Mankind after Shamrock's interference, and immediately after the Shamrock vs X-Pac final with Triple H on commentary saying that nobody called to tell him of Vince taking off his belt as he found out on TV, ending with Shamrock going over to win the belt. WCW's big tag match main event went 6 minutes in the final quarter, with the match having several key points from different angles hyped throughout the show, with Warrior making his wrestling TV return after over 2 years and it being the first ever Warrior vs Hogan match on TV in general, along with the reunion of Warrior and Sting for the first time since coming up in the business as the Blade Runners in the mid-80s, and it being the first ever in-ring Sting vs Bret Hart match. Sting started and worked the majority of the match, with Warrior's role limited due to a torn bicep injury, as Hogan and Bret got heat on Sting to build to a Warrior hot tag. Sting escaped after a few minutes of Hart and Hogan teamwork to tag Warrior to a big reaction, ending up with NWO Hollywood running out before he could get to Hogan. The match going up against another big star power tag match on Raw, won the quarter by a big margin, jumping over 800,000 viewers to WCW's peak 5.1 rating, with the show ending exactly at 11 p.m. without going into an overrun. Similar to the big WCW tag match, Raw's main event tag had several notable hyped points in the hour building up to it, with the company putting on its top 4 promoted stars on TV and the first time Austin and Rock teamed up, with massive anticipation starting to build for their eventual match after the crowd reactions and the stare down on Heat 8 days earlier, along with Taker and Kane teaming up 6 days before headlining a pay-per-view against each other. The entrances and first half of the match going head-to-head with the Warrior and Sting vs Hogan and Hart tag match, saw the trend of the WCW main events gaining big, with Raw dropping to a show low 4.2 while WCW jumped to a show high 5.1, continuing the pattern of the top WCW headliner still usually attracting a wider audience despite Raw's overall momentum. The first half of the match saw a rare Rock Austin teamwork and a huge pop for a customized People's Elbow on Taker. With WCW now off the air, Raw went 6 minutes in the overrun for the second half of the 11 minutes main event, and this week the overrun made massive difference, as within minutes Raw jumped over 2 million viewers to a peak 6.2 rating, pushing Raw to a 4.8 rating overall against WCW's 4.7, with the unopposed overrun giving Raw the win in what would have been otherwise a 4.7 draw, with both shows continuing to draw huge numbers even against heavier sports competition in the fall season. Raw's finish saw Mark Henry attacking Rock to take him out of the match, while in the ring newly signed Big Bossman made his return to the company, taking out Austin as McMahon's new enforcer.